Hello, Grapperinos, and welcome to another episode of Probably Next Week on Smackdown. Ryan, I'm once again joined by someone who might want to be the Mrs. Mente. Mike, say hi, Mike. Mentee.
Why would I want to be a mentee for a jobber like The Miz? I would want to be a mentee for a obvious hot shot superstar like Danhausen.
Oh, I thought you were going a completely different direction than Danhausen. Why would you say Danhausen?
I mean, I say this almost every week now, but the old adage still remains true. Anyone who comes out of a box is immediately over. And
True.
Danhausen, despite the IWC thinking it was a bad deal, despite the people in the audience having no fucking clue who he was at the time, he is insanely over. Even though he's now in a feud with the Ishopeen, but you know, it is what it is.
Has he really
So
ran out of
we'll see
people
what
to curse?
happens. He did curse Ishopeen, so we'll see what happens to him. Maybe he gets booted off Twitch in the next week or two. Which, if he does, would be probably the most hilarious thing that's ever happened in the history of wrestling.
Indeed, indeed. Yeah, Danhausen has been on a roll lately. Cursing is, I guess, as well, and cursing Uday. He's all over the place, man. That exposure. And he's doing this without even wrestling a single match. He's just backstage talking to people and doing a bunch of promos saying you are cursed every single week. And Jim Cornette is happy about that. But anyway, we are going to predict and book the next episode of Friday Night SmackDown as we roll on to WrestleMania, which is next month. Oh, how the time flies. Here we are, I suppose. And we will do it according to these rules. After I tell you what happened, we will watch the next episode of Friday Night SmackDown as it airs. Then we will score our predictions and bookings based on these criteria. Yeah, I guess. And then after that, we will basically tell you what we got next episode of this show. So let's do that. I got a 12.5. I think it's just the majority of appearances. I don't think I got any of the winners correct or any matches correct, I think. So I got Randy Orton, Jacob Fatu, Jade, BFAB, MFT, Damien and Archer, Wyatt 6, Charlotte, and Alexa appearing on the episode. That is all of my points right there. But what about you, Mike?
Let's see. So I had Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair appearing. Is that okay? I need to clarify this with you. Maybe I'm getting this wrong. But if they're, I think you said tag team is one, right? Because it's one point for a tag team, or is it one
Yeah.
point for each person in the tag team?
If it's like a makeshift tag team, like Damien and R-Truth person, not
Okay.
1 point, I guess.
Okay. All right. So if it's an established tag team, meaning it's like their second or third match as a tag team together, then
Kinda,
would
yeah.
it be one or
If there's
okay,
like an
okay.
official name, like the Irresistible Forces, yuck. Yeah. You
Okay,
could.
okay.
That's 1 point.
But if they cobble together like LA Knight and Jey Uso versus the Vision, LA Knight and Jey Uso are not one, right? That's one
No,
each. Okay.
that's
All
one
right,
each.
got it. Okay, so I got a point from Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair appearing in the women's tag team title match. I got Jelly Roll. Well, I almost forgot his name. Got Jelly Roll appearing in Kit Wilson's promo and the content of his promo. Right, I got both Sami Zayn and Trick Williams appearing on this show. I actually had Sami Zayn in the match, but I think I had it backwards. I had Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams, and then Sami was interfered on by Aleister Black, and it actually turned out to be the other way around. So it was Trick Williams doing the interfering or the distracting. And then I got Motor City Machine Guns and Praxium. So,
Wow.
also I had Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre appearing as well. Now,
Right.
was that a backstage segment? I mean, maybe, but they were on like an actual like the last segment, they actually showed up again too.
They're
So
dead right now. So.
they're both dead. I don't know if Jacob's dead. I think Drew is dead, or Drew
Oh,
quit.
really?
I think Drew
Yeah,
quit. I don't know.
Drew.
Is Jacob dead in kayfabe?
I mean, judging by that closing segment, they both fell. So
Oh, yeah, it's right.
I'm
They
gonna
both
guess
fell
that's
off. Like how it
cliffhanger. Called a
yes.
cliffhanger. That is show business, buddy. Yeah, yeah, that was a lot of appearances. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if this week is any better than last week as we look at what's announced. Got Kit Wilson versus Jelly Roll. I wonder who is excited for that match. We have Julia taking on Tiffany Stratton for the Women's US Championship. We have Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss taking on the Bella Twins for the number one contendership for the Women's Tag Team Championship. And Randy Orton having his own little promo segment where he tries to apologize to Cody Rhodes to what he did a couple of weeks ago. So, without further ado, let's book this thing. My version of the show first as Damian Priest. I can't even get the priest out. And R-Truth get to the ring. They talk about the tag team championship match between them and the week. They say that the win meant so much to them. Whatever team comes up to them will get punished by Damian Priest and R-Truth. Again, interrupted by the MFT, who say that the win was a fluke because the Wyatt Six intervened. Want to reclaim the tag team titles at Mania by any means necessary. Casey Mateo is attacked from out of nowhere, however, by Shinsuke Nakamura. The rest of the MFT try to counter, but before they do, Nick Aldis comes out. He announces a match between a and Shinsuke for some reason. Tama Tonga steps up to the challenge and Solo agrees. Nick makes the match official. That match is next. As for the next tag team title contenders that will take on Damian Priest and R-Truth, I think it should be the Motor City Machine Guns. And listen, I know they are setting up a breakup angle for these two, but that is not good. I don't think that's a good idea. As I said last week, I think that Motor City Machine Guns should turn heel, join forces with Johnny Gargano, make it a faction, and then, there goes the rest of the year where they try to get back to the tag team titles and where Johnny Gargano place before he kind of slumped on Freight. There you go. I think.
So I do think that that's their plan. Is they're going to pair Gargano and Candice LeRae with the Guns. I don't know if they're going to turn them heel or not.
Well, I think Johnny Gargano is already a heel, so I think
Is
the
he?
the heel turn. Oh yeah, DIY were
I
heels
think-
before
I
Champa,
know,
went
like
bye bye.
I wouldn't know that he's a heel by the fact that he's just been laying on crates. He had like a 7 hour stream where he just laid on a table.
Oh really?
I thought you showed me that where he like was laying on a table on a stream.
Oh
Just
my god.
oh yeah. So I don't know if he's heel or face or not, but I think that's where they're going. Yeah.
I mean, according to the Wrestling Encyclopedia, someone bumps over a table for a couple hours a heel. You know this, Mike. It's part of wrestling terminology. But
Who
anyway,
said this? Was it Jim Cornette that said this? Was it
yes,
Vince
I
Russo
saw
that
it.
said this?
I saw it in a maybe Vince Russo. I'm not sure. Someone said it. Maybe it's good old Easy E. I don't know. One of those people. But yeah, I do think that Marcy Machine Guns still at WrestleMania losing the match against Damian Priest and R-Truth up with Johnny Gargano and Candice. I think that's where they're going. Instead of breaking up Motor City Machine Guns. That should be great. Rather than breaking them up. There you go. Next, Tamatonga takes on Shinsuke Nakamura. We'll have Tamatonga win by pinfall after the match. The MFT and Tama tries to stop them. Basically says that's enough on them. Tama, saying that and trying to stop them. But before it continues, lights go down, come back up again, and the Wyatt Six arrive, attacking the MFT up that Tamatonga weakness. That leads to the MFT versus Mania fight for the Lantern. Yes, that is where the feud is going now. Wyatt Six eventually get it back because Tamatonga now leaving the MFT, pointing Shinsuke had enough with Solo, and the MFT will continue. Yes, him and Shinsuke, and no, I guess that's where they're going with this. So there you go. Moving on to Carmelo Hayes, Aleister Black for the championship. I don't know. I just took a dice roll, looked at the roster. You know, Black would be opponent for Carmelo Hayes. We have Carmelo Hayes winning by fall due to a distraction by Sami Zayn on Aleister Black after the match. After Aleister Black attacked by Rick Williams. Match later tonight as Nick Aldis bounces stage afterward. So yeah, Carmelo Hayes won against Ilya last week. Not sure what the plan is for WrestleMania. I'm guessing it's another open challenge. WrestleMania promo segment, I guess, and just like, yo, give me someone, give me. How many wrestler come? So there you go, I guess. Moving on to Kate Wilson versus Jelly Roll. I will have Kate Wilson win by pinfall due to a distraction from The Miz on Jelly Roll. After the match, The Miz and Kate continue to beat up Jelly Roll, but is saved by Ray Phoenix because Ray doesn't have anything to do. So, again, it's just a dice roll. I'm just winging it. I think this will set up the WrestleMania match between Jelly Roll and Ray Phoenix over, I guess. I don't know. I guess the other possibility could be Emmy. I think with the Randy Orton, uh, kind of forces the plan for Jelly Roll. There's a tag match, random guy. Oh, there you go. I guess we'll move on. Alexa Bliss and her take on the belt goes to a contest. Irresistible attack both all around the ring, but irresistible on top as the segment ends. I think lead to a triple threat match at WrestleMania between Charlotte and Alexa. Charlotte and Alexa breaking up after the match as the and just leading off a couple of weeks that we need more women in division, and with the Bella Twins being tag teams off. I am leading Charlotte and Alexa breakup, even though we kind of did the EO kind of. I think that we need to have more women on division as if they don't, then I don't know. Yeah, the next contenders will no contest. Doesn't matter. Be a triple threat match. Julia takes on Tiffany Stratton for the women's next. Julia wins after a distraction from happens on Stratton after the match. Julia and Kiana continue by Jordan Grace. Yeah, remember her? Comes out, she gets the other girls out of the ring. She takes Tiffany Stratton's hand. This leads to Kiana James versus Jordan Grace on getting triple threat for the women's US championship. Tiffany takes on Julia and Jordan. I think that Julia will probably go over, or they could give it to and Grace, more so than Tiffany. I think the way that they're kind of booking this, Dog, be surprised if at WrestleMania. There you go. Next, Sami Zayn, Rick Williams, and other no contest because Sami Zayn had enough of this world. Brings out the chair. He Rick Williams out on the back, commences a savage attack on him. Out as Sami used to do it. Eventually, do separate them. Or Trick gets quote unquote not shoot injured. You know what I mean? Trick laughs as Sammy is backstage. He crashes out again. I am going to have Sami Zayn turn, I guess, or kind of like Sami Zayn kind of desperate back to the top, and he cannot take these losses and back on his family. Returns at the Royal Rumble next. That is when he wins the title from whoever has it. Good old kingdom of Saudi Arabia. But anyway, way too far. I think that now, I think this will lead match between again, fashion, last man standing match, whatever the match may be. You know, the between that's Sammy's plan for WrestleMania. And Randy Orton wraps up the show. He comes out. He talked about last week. He says that he respects Cody more than Matt Cardona. That he will not do the same thing he did last week. Matt, he urges Cody to get to the ring and apologize to him and get it over with. Cody heads to the ring. He picks up Mike. He says that he doesn't want an apology from Randy. He understands that he has to do what is needed done so he can get what he wants. Wanted the old Randy Orton, got it back. Wanted the Viper Randy Orton, legend killer, got it. Cody's job, as he understands it, doesn't get to Randy, doesn't get to hold the title again. Says the true apology will come at WrestleMania. Randy, and shows the audience how cute is. Cody then extends his hand for Randy to shake. Randy almost does, but RKOs Cody. He gets out of the ring. He gets the steel steps. He does a savage attack. Nick Aldis and the security come out again. Separate Randy from Cody. Randy tries to stop the attack on Cody. Eventually, he does. Randy goes to the back as medics and a stretcher are called on Cody. As Cody is being brought to the ambulance, however, Randy attacks Cody again, along with many security guards who are trying to Cody. Again, I think this is to justify the fact that Randy trying to be this sort of savage guy. Voices in his head. He's doing whatever it takes. And also to get have to call, try to stop him. Cody heel turn. I think that either possibility could be. I think that this might happen. Build up Randy Orton as, and Cody will have to do whatever it takes. Any questions?
So, with Randy being the heel, in this WrestleMania match, obviously, if Cody turns heel, do you think it's a double turn, or do you think that Randy goes? Because it seems like Randy's getting cheered like a face right now. Like if
Yeah.
you watch the segment from last week, They were they were chanting for Randy to lay
Yeah.
out Matt Cardona. So, um, do you think it's a double turn? Do you think they take advantage of the fact that Randy has a lot of momentum, or they just take Randy off TV for like a couple weeks and then bring him back as a face?
Um. So I think it'll be a double. I'm leaning back to that ring for Randy. I mean, that Randy because been in the WWE wouldn't really want to boo like Randy. And as I said last week, is this act all? I think that Randy turn then Cody turns heel because I'm tired. You heard his reaction. People in the arena, he kind of did a couple of heel. I think that's set up. Cody turning heel WrestleMania. Do you think that we are heading towards a double turn, rather than Randy just being off TV and coming back as a fan? That's more for Sami Zayn, considering how he's like crashing out and you know being all like gotta influence Randy or Cody. It's obvious that Sammy wants to get back to the top. How he's crashing out, it seems. So I think that it would be better for Sammy to take a step back and back at the rather than because Randy kind of has more of a story there against Cody. So I think it's a double turn. Cody will turn heel. Again, Cody will need some assistance help get at Randy and cost him. I do think that Randy will get the title at WrestleMania. I guess. I guess that makes sense. You can do the heel turn after the match. Excuse me. You can do the heel turn after the match as well.
Okay, all right, sure. Sounds good, bro. I think I still think they're gonna keep Cody face
Okay.
and turn him heel later on just because of how stupid this company is. Um,
I
you know,
mean, yeah.
maybe at Survivor Series, maybe they do the whole John Cena turned heel on him a year ago, and now he's doing it to someone
Oh
else.
shit!
So
You people, I
or
did
maybe
it
at
because of
SummerSlam.
you people. That kid over there, that kid over there, screw that kid. I can turn his face out. It's the same like promo that did returning heel. There's a Cody kid that's wearing. Cody's like, screw that kid. He points at the kid. Anyway, yeah. I mean, Cody could remain face. Could be possible. Depends on how much money they're getting off of him. Merch sales. But I think that there's some sort of animosity towards Cody. The fact that he's kind of like a white meat baby face. There isn't seems like fabricated face. There really isn't a lot of dimensionality to why they're think that maybe turning Cody heel might be have them at least respond to Cody in a fashionable.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah. I was listening to a wrestling bios video when I was driving back from the other state uh, on Monday, um, and This he was going over the Embrace the Hate storyline for John Cena and Kane, and he explained that John Cena at that time was a permanent split attraction, meaning that he had people who hated him and he had people who loved him, and that was it. You couldn't move the needle because people hated him because of what you said. He's a white meat baby face with no dimension, and he wins all the time. And that, I think, is what Cody is suffering from right now. I think he has that same kind of aura around him, where he's now a split attraction. And I think that Randy is providing an alternative to Cody. And I think that's what the fans are trying to let management know, is that they want Cody to be on the sideline for a little bit. Maybe they want him to be refreshed into a heel, which I think will happen. But I think he also suffers from a little bit of what Jey Uso has suffered from, where they don't want to turn him heel just yet because he gets a lot of money from the kids.
Yeah.
So
for sure, yes. Yeah, I mean it's a double-edged sword. Well, I guess onto your.
no, I'm ready for my card. Let's do it.
All right, let's move on to your card. Starting off with,
we have Cody Rhodes, the $10,000 bus man himself, coming out to start off the show. If you get that reference, then you know what I'm talking about.
I have no idea what.
So I saw this on Reddit, but it was actually a Twitter post. I was lurking Reddit, as I usually do, to get notes for this show. And there was a post about how WWE was offering fans a chance to ride, not a chance, but like an opportunity to ride with Cody from someplace, I think, to WrestleMania in his bus. And the ticket price, Brian, was $10,000.
Oh God. What the hell?
Like, what the?
That's insane.
Who would even take that up? That is crazy, dude. That's nuts, man. 10 grand to sit in a fucking bus with Cody Rhodes.
So,
What do you
want to talk about?
Weather's great today, isn't it? Yes, it is. Perfect. 92 degrees and sunny, as it always is here in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So Cody Rhodes comes out, and he demands an apology from Randy Orton. He says Randy, he took out a good friend of his in Matt Cardona. He said that Randy, he wanted the old Randy Orton back, but he didn't want Randy to cause collateral damage. He wanted Randy himself. He wanted his soul. He wanted all of him in him the whole way. I don't know. I was coming up with something. Randy then calls in from his Game Boy Advance to tell Cody that he is going to be there at the end of the show, and he will deliver his apology to Cody personally in the ring. All right. Apparently, Randy has voices in his head, but he cannot afford a camera better than 480p. So
maybe the voices are telling him to record his thoughts and broadcast them. That's what I don't know. Maybe his voices tell him to get a early 2000s webcam, because that's what's. Yeah. Anyway, we'll reserve the questions.
We have the women's tag team match that is booked. The Bella Twins versus Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. This was announced last week. I think that the Bella Twins win via disqualification, thanks to the Irresistible Forces coming out and causing a ruckus at ringside. They attack Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair because they attacked the Irresistible Forces last week. So I agree with you. I think this is reaching a point to where it'll be a triple threat match with some, spot fest stipulation, ladder match, street fight, no DQ, whatever nonsense. I guess triple threat is no DQ anyway, but some sort of stipulation at Mania. And yeah, so who do I think takes this? In my heart of hearts, I would like the Irresistible Forces to take, because I think they're actually like a legitimate threat, or they're being painted as a legitimate threat. I think they work well together, better than Nia Jax had with Candice LeRae and Tiffany Stratton. In reality, I think it's going back to Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair.
Oh, okay.
Why not the Bella? Why not the Bella Twins? I don't know, bro. I mean, it's not 2010 anymore. So
That is true. That is true.
did you know that Nikki Bella is apparently dating Cooper DeJean? Cooper DeJean is a second-year safety for the Philadelphia Eagles, and he is, I think, 26 years old. Brian?
The age gap. The age gap. I mean, at least it's what is it? It's like a 10. Trying to calculate the gap. I think Nikki is like 38. So like 12-year gap. Still, that is an age gap, I must say. That is yeah, but anyway. Okay. So you don't think that Alexa, right? That's, I mean, it could happen.
I think they get the titles, and then they lose them again, and that's how they break them up.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that could also be the play. Yeah, sure. I guess we'll move on. We'll move on to the more entertaining part of the show.
Yes, Kit Wilson versus Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll is getting a singles match on a TV show, not a pay-per-view and not a tag team match. So, what I think happens here is that Jelly Roll runs into Randy Orton as he's arriving in the arena, as Jelly Roll is on the way to his match. He converses again with Randy, telling him that he doesn't need to go down this path he's going down. He needs to just focus on Cody. He doesn't need to focus on anyone else, and just be a good guy. Don't need to be a dick about this. Randy seems to agree. Tells him he's going to apologize to Cody tonight, and offers to walk Jelly Roll down to the ring. Jelly Roll accepts. They get to the ring, and he is immediately RKO'd by Randy, who then walks away as security come after him. Jelly Roll is laid out at ringside.
Wow.
And Kit Wilson is able to bring him into the ring and hit him with whatever finisher Kit Wilson has, and wins via pinfall. So, this is, again, setting up Randy to be this sort of savage, legend killer style Randy Orton that he was back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, and setting him up to be a big bad heel, who may win the title. I think that is the play, because you need to give Cody a reason to turn heel, and I think that's the play, is to give Randy the title.
Okay.
So
fair enough. I'll just ask specifically for Kit Wilson versus Jelly Roll. I know that comes up. So, guess do you think Jelly Roll goes from here after having been? He might intervene in the match. That's, it's still a tag team match for Jelly Roll. Tag team partner. Where do you think Jelly Roll?
I don't know in what shape Jelly Roll. I mean, I know he lost weight. I just don't know exactly like what shape he is in to go in the ring. I guess the better wording here is I don't know how good Jelly Roll is. I don't know if he's good enough to have a singles match on his own. This isn't WCW. We're not putting David Arquette into a match. So, and giving
What do
him a
you
title
mean, bro?
shot
That was a great
and a win.
decision. right?
And when I actually I watched a video explaining his title win, and actually it was really bad for him. Like the man felt
Oh yeah.
unbelievable guilt to the point where he became an indie wrestler on his own accord just to not feel guilty about it. And I was like, brother, it was WCW in 1998, 99. You don't need to feel that bad, bro. It's
Bro,
fine. Don't worry
no,
about
bro.
it.
The 98 WCW was the best part of my tenure. Right after I crafted the Attitude Era, bro. Okay? I made WCW to what it is today. By putting the title on David Arquette, bro. Listen, they gotta promote the movie Ready to Rumble. I heard that was a great movie.
We should watch it one time. I've never watched it.
Oh yeah, we should. We should. Yeah.
So anyway, I think I do still think the main feud is Kit Wilson versus Jelly Roll. Whether it ends up being a tag team match or not, I don't know. Maybe it's an absolute meme match where it's Kit Wilson and The Miz versus Jelly Roll and Danhausen.
Oh my god.
That is a WWE 2K match if I've ever seen one.
It could happen. Holy shit.
I do still think Jelly Roll involves himself at WrestleMania. I just don't know how yet. So
yeah,
probably with Kit Wilson is what I'm saying. I don't know if it's going to be a tag team match or a singles match. So
yeah, Danhausen is over. Why don't you put him on the main? Yeah, I think the tag match that. Yeah, I think that for Jelly Roll. Yeah. Well, anyway, I guess we'll move on from that to
the U.S. Women's Title match. This was announced last week. I think Julia retains after via a roll up thanks to interference from Chelsea Green and Alba Fire. They offered assistance to Julia last week. I think that she denied them. I think last week. So I think they have like a handshake agreement off stage somewhere this week, and they help her secure the win. I think this leads to a rematch at Mania where Tiffany takes it. And she can go off and be a U.S. champion, and we can get Julia to do something else that isn't the Kiana James's client.
yeah. I think it's safe to say that they kind of ruined, which is sad, but coming up from NXT, I think Julia had kind of the brightest star out of any sort of woman who's coming up from NXT. Kind of messed her up. Not a good thing. But who would you put Tiffany as a title after?
Probably Chelsea Green. You know, she's a good enough jobber to feed to her. So
Did you I think I might have said this before. You're in the Unreal Netflix. There was a quote, Michael P.S. Hayes, where he states that the reason why they don't want to Chelsea Green because like one of those people where he's kind of talented, but not point where you could sort of put her in the main event spot. She kind of helps people, is what he's trying to say. Like helps people, but it's not enough
So
to sort of
that's
put her on the main event status.
so basically like a long-winded AI generated description of definition of a jobber. She's a jobber. I understand. She's actually I wouldn't say she's a golden jobber. She's kind of in this weird middle ground because like a jobber is someone who really never wins at all. Like Chelsea wins occasionally, so but she doesn't get main event spots. So I would say she's like just an average mid carder, right? Like a you know, because to me a jobber is someone who never wins, and a golden jobber is someone like LA Knight who gets a
Yeah,
lot of opportunities at the main event but never wins. Chelsea doesn't fit either of those. So I think she's just like a mid carder who's more of like a someone you feed to another person you're trying to push up the card, basically.
Yeah,
But occasionally Chelsea can get her own push. So
yeah. I do think Chelsea deserves a push. They won't let her because of that AI generated reason. Yeah, okay, makes sense for Tiffany. Could see. We'll move on from that too.
the MFT cut a promo. Solo comes out to the ring with his fellow Tongans. I couldn't think of a better name for this team other than my fungible tokens. He comes out with
They were
his
exiled from JTB.
funicular trains. There you go. I know that's
We're
a double
talking about.
entendre, but he comes out with his funicular trains. So his funicular
Okay.
trains surround the ring, and Solo explains why they lost the titles. They say that the Wyatt Six have been distracting them. They need to take care of business with this lantern. They need to finally beat the Wyatt Six so they can get back their titles. JC Mateo takes this opportunity to speak up and actually tell Solo that it's due to this stupid lantern that the Wyatt Six are interfering in all of our matches and causing us to lose. Solo, being incensed that someone is giving him good ideas, decides to tell the rest of the MFT to attack JC Mateo. So Tongaloa and Talatonga both attack JC Mateo. Tamatonga, however, does not. He's a bit hesitant, and Solo notices this, but doesn't do anything about it just yet. So JC Mateo is out of the MFT, and they're teasing another breakup with Tamatonga, who I think is going to side with Shinsuke Nakamura in what will be probably the next feud for the MFT.
Do you like
They
this?
still have the lantern, by the way. So I don't even know what the hell they're going to do with the Wyatt Six.
Yeah. I guess. Do you like this? Do you like the future for the MFT? Them being separated and then other mid card feuds. Did you imagine this would happen?
Um, I I did. I don't know what they're going to do with all the MFT though. I don't know, like if Talatonga is kept on the roster. I don't know if JC Mateo is kept on the roster. I'm assuming Talatonga and Tongaloa are on the roster as a tag team. I'm assuming Solo is kept because he's actually a good, talent as a singles guy. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. For the Wyatt Six, I mean, eh, I guess we could have a match between them and the MFT. Finally, fucking end this feud, and that's it. We can focus on the MFT up after that. I guess that could also be the play. I don't know. It seems like the MFT going in different directions. Kind of seems like they're trying to more complex, more dimensional strands going on. Yeah, I don't know what happens after this. Guess we'll have to see. Guess we'll have to see what happens. We'll move on from that to
Rhea Ripley versus BFAB. I don't know why BFAB and Michin attacked Rhea last week. Do you know why, Brian? I don't know why.
apparently they are now siding with Jade, even though Jade can.
I know. Like, apparently, if you get the crap kicked out of you by someone for several weeks straight, you just are now friends with them?
It's called a
I don't know how that
swerve.
works.
Bro, it's called a swerve, bro. You've been swerved.
So
Just like
maybe
me.
it's Stockholm syndrome. Maybe they beat maybe they beat sense into them to have them side with Jade. I don't fucking know. Um, Anyway, I think that this happens. I think this is sort of the way to give Rhea a build up to Mania without having her face Jade and without some endless promo gaff between them going off about, I don't know, fucking workouts and shit and stupid crap that Jade can't even comprehend because she can't have a substantive promo. She's not very good at promos, is what I'm trying to say, Brian. And you can't have her and Rhea go back and forth every week if Jade is not able to keep up. So this is sort of how they keep this fire lit a little bit by feeding BFAB and Michin to Rhea, even though it looks really weird because BFAB and Michin were feuding with Jade just about like 2 weeks ago. So
Yeah. Yeah, I listen, I just don't like this feud. I really don't. I think this has been a terrible of again, like you said, like it's causing a bunch of questions or just don't they're just illogical decisions that are being made here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where we are going with this, but I think we're still having Rhea win this all right. I don't think there's a way for Jay to rely on these other folks to kind of I guess combat Rhea. I mean, Jade said that she has the perfect body and all that stuff, but like now she's relying on these two. Are you presenting her like Goldberg past couple of months? Why? That makes no sense. But yeah, I don't I don't know where they're. Do you think Rhea's winning at Mania, Mike? Do you think that this new development causes you to change your mind? Have Jade win?
um no, I think Rhea wins. I think Rhea wins. I don't think that Jade should keep the belt. I think she needs to go and refine her promo ability, maybe refresh her character, maybe move to Bra. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Oh, I agree. I sharpen up. Anyway, we'll move on from that to
Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams. Trick Williams came down to Sami Zayn's match last week against Aleister Black and caused a distraction, which cost Sami the win. I think that Trick wins this one via pinfall. I don't think Aleister Black plays a part in this one. I think this is going to lead to Sami crashing out backstage again. Maybe this ends up in a rematch at WrestleMania where Sami turns heel finally and embraces the darkness or whatever Aleister Black is trying to get him to do.
yeah. Okay. Do you think this heel turn goes anywhere? WrestleMania next year is in Saudi. I'm getting we're
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense that he wins the Rumble. Maybe he becomes more of a tweener, but knowing the Saudis, they'll cheer him anyway, even if he is a heel. So, so maybe he wins the Rumble, and then he wins the title finally.
okay. All right. Well, we'll move on to the main event, which is
Randy Orton returns for the second time in this show. He comes down to the ring like he said he did, and he tells Cody to come out so he can apologize to him face to face. Cody comes out, starts taking off his jacket, takes off his vest, takes off his tie, gets into the ring, and starts squaring up to Randy and asks him why he took out Jelly Roll. Randy said that he wants this to be about just Cody and Randy. He doesn't want anyone else involved, and Jelly Roll is getting in his business. So, and Randy apologizes for doing that because the voices, they talk to him, they understand, and Cody doesn't really take this apology We're starting to plant seeds a little bit here for a heel turn. Um, and then Randy, they're sort of squaring up to each other. Randy's got where that thing where he does where he like acts like the voices are talking to him in the ring.
Yeah.
And Cody then says, "Okay, Randy, listen. If just all I want is an apology for laying out my friend Matt Cardona last week, and on behalf of Jelly Roll, let's just keep this between us. Don't get anyone else involved." He puts out his hand. Randy attempts to RKO him. Cody is ready for it though, pushes him off, and a brawl begins to end the show. There you go.
Okay. So, I guess the question is, do you think we're heading for a double turn?
No, I don't think so. Um, I think that it's going to be Randy who wins it. He's a heel. Probably goes up against Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu after WrestleMania. And then Cody comes back maybe like SummerSlam time. And then maybe he turns heel at SummerSlam, or maybe he turns heel at Survivor Series. Um, because he lost at SummerSlam and he's getting desperate to get his title back. So,
Okay. So, okay. I you mentioned Jacob Fatu and Drew. Now, last time we saw them, kind of fell. Would you see both of them returning at Mania, costing and not have this match, or
I think they have their own match at Mania, maybe to determine who faces the winner of this match. Um, Maybe that's how they do it, but I don't think they get involved. I think they have their own match at Mania, probably.
okay?
That seems to me where it's going.
And you said that Randy Orton match against.
Yes, he does.
Okay, sounds good. Well, that's all we got for the next episode of Friday Night Smackdown. And as I said earlier, we will watch the next episode, theirs, and then our predictions and bookings. And back here, we'll tell you we got, and then we'll book and predict all over again, and do all that stuff. So till then, thank you for ordering a blue cheese pizza called probably next week on SmackDown from Grapperinos. And remember, if you're down for some fresh oven baked crispy wrestling content, stop on by Grapperinos and order yourself some content to grapple with. See you next time, Grapperinos. Bro!